Greetings, everyone. This is JT Sodergren, and today I'm going to talk to you about Letterboxd, easily my most utilized app and favorite place to hang out online. Letterboxd is an online social cataloging platform that advertises itself as Goodreads for film, where members can rate and review movies, keep track of what they have seen, as well as keep a running diary of when they watch new films, make curated lists of films and showcase their favorites, tag films using text keywords, and meet and interact with other cinephiles. I first want to give you a brief overview of the platform's skyrocketing popularity and some recent trends that offer possible explanations for its meteoric rise before going into a little tutorial about how to use the platform to your advantage, including access to free streaming services and custom tools that Letterboxd provides. Letterboxd was founded in 2011 and grew modestly over its first several years, catering mostly to cinephiles, movie collectors, and aspiring film critics. During the pandemic shutdowns, however, Letterboxd flourished, seeing its user count climb from 1.8 million in March of 2020 to about 4.1 million by the end of 2021. Today, Letterboxd has over 10 million users in more than 190 countries and a staff that includes journalists who produce an editorial site called Journal and host a podcast aptly titled The Letterboxd Show. Letterboxd's marketing team also frequently interviews A-listers like Tom Hanks and Emma Stone, who you see here, on the red carpet to riff on their 4 favorite films based on Letterboxd feature that allows users to publicly display their own favorite movies on their user profiles. One of the keys to the platform's success is likely the fact that more people have access to it right in their own pocket. In Pew Research Center's first survey of smartphone ownership conducted in 2011, the same year that Letterboxd launched, just 35% of Americans owned a smartphone. Today, the vast majority of Americans, 97%, now own a cell phone of some kind, with 9 out of 10 owning a smartphone. These devices provide a wealth of information literally at one's fingertips, and as studies have shown, more and more Americans look to social media apps like Letterboxd to get recommendations for entertainment, contributing to the success of multiple industries, not least of which is the public library system. Kathy Behrens, an associate professor of digital humanities and book publishing at Portland State University, says the most significant difference between how younger and older generations use public libraries is discovery. Millennials and Gen Z grew up around technology, she says, which shaped their reading behavior, media preferences, and how they learn about new books. 1 in 3 Gen Zers and millennials buy books based on recommendations from Instagram reviews and ads, and 31% buy books discovered from reviews on TikTok. This makes sense since 92% of both generations surveyed report checking social media daily, and 25% check multiple times an hour. Yet print books remain Gen Zers' preferred format. Take a look at Bridgerton as an example. This Netflix series about an aristocratic family in the 19th century England, based on the book series of the same name, was a huge phenomenon on Netflix. Print sales of the books shot up 3,000%, with ebook sales going up 8,000%. Behrens adds, that's really Gen Z and millennials saying, we saw this thing we liked and we want more. Letterboxd acts in a similar way, where users can read recommendations from trusted sources, i.e., like accounts they follow, or find similar films to ones they have already seen via curated lists, actor and director filmographies, nano data, genre filters, and many more. Another curious trend is the vast cord cutting phenomenon in cable television subscriptions. The share of Americans who say they watch television via cable or satellite has plunged from 76% in 2015 to 56% this year, according to a new Pew Research Center survey of U.S. adults. Some 71% of those who do not use cable or satellite services say it's because they can access the content they want online, whereas 69% say the cost of cable and satellite services is far too high. The drop in cable and satellite subscribers highlights the changing landscape of connectivity and media in the era of cord cutting, particularly as internet streaming services like Netflix and Hulu have grown in popularity, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is where streaming services like Canopy bridge the gap. Canopy is a streaming service featuring over 12,000 titles that is free to access and stream movies, documentaries, educational programming, and children's entertainment via their offshoot Canopy Kids. Canopy is available through the web or on providers like Roku and Amazon Stick, as well as one smartphone, and is absolutely free to use. All it takes is a valid library card. University students and faculty are also eligible to use the service. I mention Canopy not only to let you know about a truly great opportunity to see some amazing cinema, but also because I'd like to now venture over to Letterboxd itself and show you some of the features the platform provides anyone with a profile, a smartphone, and a Canopy account. So after you log into Letterboxd, this would be your home screen, where you're initially greeted with what your friends have recently watched and other films that are popular with friends. This is an article from the Letterboxd Journal that was mentioned earlier. Some highlighted reviews, new lists that friends have made, lists that are popular with friends, etc., etc. But what I want to show you is a way to filter films, such as the ones on Canopy, so you can discover new things for yourself. So Letterboxd has tiers, things that are behind the paywall. So for $19 a year, you can be Letterboxd Pro, which gives you access to this following feature. So we're going to go to films, and now you can see these different filters. And one of the things that you can get as being a pro is you can update all of the streaming services that you currently subscribe to. So you can see here that I have subscribed to many: Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, etc., etc. But we'll go down to Canopy, which we recently were looking at. And this is available to anyone with a library card or any faculty or university student. So we're going to click on Canopy, and it'll show you, see, there's 12,209 films currently available on Canopy here in the United States. Now, say you're interested in French films. I don't know. Well, you can go back. Well, yeah, we'll go back and we'll say countries and languages. Okay, so it gives you the map. Let's go to France. So there are almost 44,000 films that were a production or co-production of France. Just in the world, not on your streaming services, nothing, just period, point blank, 44,000 films. So let's go and see how many French films there are on Canopy. So there are 1,401 films produced by France available on Canopy. So let's say we want something from the 70s. All right, 1970s. 66 films produced by France in the 1970s available on Canopy. Okay, and you could go even further and do specific years, but we'll just stick to the 1970s. And then genre. How about something scary? horror movies. All right. So there are 11 horror movies produced by France, released in the 70s, available on Canopy. What is The Grapes of Death? Les Raisons de la Mort. I'm not good at French. Let's see. When the wine flows, the terror begins. A young woman discovers that the pesticide being sprayed on vineyards is turning people into murderous lunatics. This sounds great. So then you can see that it is available to buy on disc via Amazon, or of course available on Canopy. Now, looks like 4 of my friends would like to watch this, which that little clock indicates, and one of my friends has watched this and gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Here is the general ratings for everyone that's on Letterboxd that has seen it. So it has an average of 3.4, which is actually pretty good. Anything above a 3 is typically worth a look. And then, if you're in the mood for something, worse, whatever you're in the mood for. And then here are reviews. And these are ranked by the number of other users who have liked it. And you can go through and you can read these. You can find other users that maybe you end up watching the film and you go back and you're like, this Slig 001 was really on to something. So then you can go to their profile, also a pro, and you can see, okay, their favorite film, Suspiria, Tenebrae, which is, those are 2 Dario Argento films, I can just tell you that. So, and The Wicker Man, also a horror film. So this person's into horror. If you're into horror too, you can go ahead and give them a follow. And Letterboxd seems to know that they're into horror too, because the logo has started dripping blood. There are a lot of fun little Easter eggs like that on the site that you can find. One common one that everyone knows about, that if you go in and you try to write a review for Fight Club, it asks you, are you sure you want to do this, because you're breaking the first and second rule of Fight Club, which is do not talk about Fight Club. So yeah, there you have it. We went and we found movies. Here, let's go back and we'll not horror, and we'll do any genre and any decade. And so you can see world map. Anyway, that gives you an idea of how you can maneuver through Letterboxd, and especially specific streaming services, how you can connect with people, how you can gather information. And yeah, if you weren't aware before, now you know that you have access to a free streaming service that shows all of these incredible films right at your fingertips. So that is that. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thank you for listening.